I'm presenting to my mother and my brother
Hello.
about how X-rays help our technology work. So, as time continues on, we've noticed that our computers and technology, like our phones, have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So that means the parts inside of it that make them work have to get smaller as well. So, how do people who make these phones ensure that these parts work if they're so small? One way that they do that is by using X-rays. So this is an example of 10 parts that are really, really small, probably the size of your nail, that you have to make sure that all of the things inside of those work properly to make good technology. This is done by using X-rays, as I said. So I interviewed Dan Grisey. He is an engineer at Acoustech, where I'm a part-time employee, and he is an expert on how the X-rays and the technology work to ensure that products are made correctly. And so Mr. Grisey explained to me how this works, and I'm going to explain that to you now. So the first thing about these parts is that they're super sensitive, and you can't have any electricity or anything harm them, or else your part's not going to work. So here's a vest that you have to wear. It's called an ESD vest, and that helps keep all of the electricity to a minimum to avoid shocking yourself or the parts that can harm them. And you also have a plug clipped to your jacket that you plug into the workstation to ground yourself so no electricity gets away. This here is the X-ray machine, and that's the most important part of X-raying. This is a machine. It's kind of older, and you can have X-ray machines that are either smaller or a lot bigger depending on what you're X-raying. This is inside of the machine. You have a pad where you lay the things. It's got a cross section so you know the center. And this is the top of it where the electrons and the radiation that comes through the X-ray machine go down from. And the cool thing about this is that the electrons and radiation come through this hole, and they come straight down onto your parts in a cone circle. Like when you see pictures in movies of how alien abductions come and get people, the cone coming down to get them, that's exactly what the X-ray rays looks like. And so, the first step you need to do is to have your film. These are the sheets that capture the pictures that you take with the X-rays. So the film is inside of here, and it's very sensitive to light, and that's why you have to keep it in this like wrapper tray thing. You set that in your X-ray machine, and then section it off into the parts that you need. So to take the pictures of the really small parts, you're not going to need this huge paper, you'll just need a small section. And so that's why you use lead to block the rays from getting to the rest of it and only use that part. Next, you put the parts on a tray that you can put farther into the machine here so they fit better. And you also use these numbers to identify what part and a job number you're taking pictures of in order to ensure that you're organized. And this tells you that you're putting it into the X-ray machine for 2 minutes at 50, and that's the level of X-rays that come down at once. And so this one is getting scanned at 50, and then next it'll get scanned at 70 and swapped out. This is the top of the X-ray machine where you put in the time you put it in for, and the tube voltage over here, which this one is set to 50, and then you change it to where you need it to be. And then that is, you press start, and that's how it runs. After you're done running it, you have to take your film and develop it, because the X-rays just leave a mark on it, but it's not permanent. So to make it permanent, you put it in a dark room to keep out the light. You've got these red lights so we can see what's going on, but it doesn't harm the film. And you go over here in this corner is this box where there's a bunch of different chemicals that when you put them in, the film in them, it makes the X-ray permanent so that you can see it and evaluate if the parts are good or have faults or not. So this is after a film has been developed, what it looks like. So you see the little dots that were on the bottom of those tiny parts, you can see them in the x-ray. And then you also have your part number. So this is black over here because the x-rays hit the film and permanently made it darker and black. And this is, the clear parts are because it was a thicker material that the x-rays couldn't get through and left the film clear right there. And so when you're looking to determine if a part is good and safe for putting in bigger technology, and to make sure that there's no holes, cracks, or anything, you look at this. This is like the part that we took an x-ray of. And you look in these holes for any different defaults and defects. And remember that it's black because the x-rays got through. And you don't want that for your parts. So here, these are good. They've got clear and the x-rays didn't get through. There's nothing wrong with them. But down here is a black hole. And that means that the metal on the part went through. That means there's a hole there, and this part then would be defective. And the company can go back and fix it and learn how to make it better for next time. And that's how x-rays don't harm a part like you would to like hammer it open to see if it's got a hole. This is a very safe way and efficient way to make sure that your parts are made well to make the cool phones and technology that we have today. Thank you.